Okay, everybody. So last lecture today, and just a couple of things that I didn't mention in last lecture. We don't need the slides. I'll just use the board. So, how many of you remember there is a gland here in the upper part of the thorax, chest, just behind the sternum? Thymus. Thyroid is a little bit higher, right here, in the lower part of the neck. And here is the thymus, right? So thymus is a gland located in the upper part of the chest or thorax behind the sternum. You know, this is the sternum, right? And thymus is very large in early part of the life. Thymus. In infant, if you see the thymus of an infant or a small child, it is pretty big, occupies almost whole upper part of the chest. Okay, it is so big. Then after puberty, it starts to get smaller. Okay, and
Larger?
smaller.
Small.
Yeah, it starts to get smaller, shrinks a lot. Stop eating here, or you can go outside. Okay, so shrinks and gets small. Okay, and in old age, it becomes like a very tiny gland like this, and basically it is a fat replaced by whole gland is replaced by fat. Okay, so no function in old age. So that is thymus. Why thymus is large in early part of the life? You know that your immune system is still growing during that time. So thymus needs to work more. That's why activity of thymus is more during early part of life, right? Then your body immune system grows slowly, and thymus, we don't need thymus anymore. Make sense? In adults, yes.
So like, what does the thymus do in like kids that like they would need
Immune. Thymus is responsible for immunity. Thymus produces a hormone that is called thymosin. Thymosin is the hormone produced by the thymus. And this hormone stimulates the bone marrow to produce T lymphocytes. Have you heard T lymphocytes? One type of white blood cells that is responsible for defensive function, immunity, okay? T lymphocytes. So you see, thymus produces thymosin hormone, and that stimulates the production of T lymphocytes. And T lymphocytes fight against what? The antigens that invade into your body. Is it clear? Okay. Whose sunglass is this? Somebody left here? It's not mine. Okay. So that is just know that thymus, and the surgical removal of thymus, sometimes we'll do that. That is called thymectomy. So ectomy is surgical removal. Tonsillectomy, you know. Have you heard that? Tonsillectomy, removal of tonsil. Thymectomy, removal of thymus. It helps to treat the patient of myasthenia gravis, a clinical condition that is called myasthenia gravis. Did we talk about this? Anybody?
I don't know.
How many of you remember neuromuscular junction? Presynaptic terminal, postsynaptic membrane, postsynaptic receptors. What kind of receptors? ACH, acetylcholine. Remember that? So lack of autoimmune destruction of those receptors cause myasthenia gravis. I mentioned that at that time. Okay. So anyway, so thymectomy helps to treat the patients of myasthenia gravis. So that is thymus. So in early stage of life, you need the thymus a lot. And in late part of life, you don't need it anymore. Pancreas. What type of gland is that? Endocrine, exocrine, or mixed?
It's a mix.
Mixed type gland, right? So pancreas is a mixed type gland. Why it is called a mixed type gland? Because it has both endocrine and exocrine parts. So if you see the pancreas, it is located here, the upper part of the abdomen, and horizontally like this, like this. And this is the head of the pancreas. This is the body. And this is what? What do you think? Okay, that makes sense. Okay, so pancreas has a head, body, and tail. And inside the pancreas, you have endocrine structures as well as exocrine structures. So these are endocrine structures and these are exocrine structures. Okay, so that's why it is a mixed. It has both endocrine and exocrine structures. Endocrine structures are called pancreatic islets. Pancreatic islets, also called islets of Langerhans. Let me write it down. Islets of Langerhans. Okay? H-G-E-R. Islets of Langerhans. Same thing. Pancreatic islets or islets of Langerhans. That's the endocrine part. Okay? And this endocrine part is very important. Why? Because it secretes two hormones, insulin and glucagon. Have you heard insulin? Okay. So the endocrine part, islets, produces two hormones, insulin and glucagon. Insulin does what? Increases or lowers? Lowers blood sugar, right? That's why diabetic patient takes insulin. So insulin lowers the blood sugar or glucose. Glucagon does just opposite. That means what? Rises or elevates or increases the blood sugar. Make sense? So by the action of these two, your blood sugar is maintained. Make sense? Now you tell me, after you eat heavy meal, which one is released more? After you take a lot of food, eat a lot of food, heavy meal, insulin, right? Because the blood sugar tends to go up, right? So insulin will be released more. If you are starving, your blood sugar goes down. At that time, which one should be released? Glucagon, because it increases the blood sugar. Make sense? So you see, these two are working to maintain your blood sugar. What is the normal blood sugar?
80 to 150.
150 is a little high. I will say
Okay, 120. 80 to 120.
90 to 120. That's what I said. But it's you know.
I would say doctors.
Different-
Everyone's
different-
a little
Yeah,
different.
doctors have told me
Everyone's a
like
lot
6 different ones. So
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's like
My standard is 90 to 120. Okay. If it goes below 90, it is like hypoglycemic. If it goes above 120, it is hyperglycemia. Have you heard that? Hypoglycemia, hyperglycemia. Okay, good. So that's the endocrine part. Now let's talk about the exocrine parts. You must remember that exocrine secretion goes to the ducts. Endocrine goes to the blood. Remember that? Endocrine goes to the blood, and blood takes it everywhere, right? Far from the gland. And at that time I mentioned exocrine is secreted into the ducts, and ducts takes it just outside of the gland. So there is duct inside the pancreas. That is called the pancreatic duct. It's a tube. Pancreatic duct, and it just goes outside of the gland here. So the exocrine parts, these are called acini, pancreatic acini, exocrine part, and they secrete pancreatic juice into the duct. So from here, pancreatic juice is secreted into the ducts, and pancreatic juice will be released where? Into the duodenum, small intestine here. So this is duodenum, where you have the food. In the intestine you have the food. So you see here, I am repeating again, this is the pancreatic duct. Exocrine part is called pancreatic acini, and that acini secrete pancreatic juice into the duct, and the duct takes it and releases into the duodenum. So pancreatic juice. Which is a very important secretion, pancreatic juice, because in pancreatic juice you have all kinds of digestive enzymes, amylase, lipase, and protease. All three are present in the pancreatic juice. Make sense? So very important, right? All kinds of digestive enzymes are there. Amylase is for what? Lipase is for what? Lipase helps in digestion of what? Fat, lipid, lipase. Protease, its name is telling you. Proteins, right? And which one is left? Amylase is what? Carbohydrates, starch. Make sense? Lipase is for what? Fats, lipids. Protease, proteins. And amylase, carbs, carbohydrates, starch. So you see, pancreatic juice is very important, right? Because it has proteolytic, lipolytic, and carbohydrate digestive enzymes. Now you tell me, if pancreas is not functioning, like you got a tumor or cancer or cystic fibrosis in pancreas, what happens in cystic fibrosis? This tube gets blocked, clogged, so the pancreatic juice cannot get out. Make sense? If the tube gets blocked, that is called cystic fibrosis. Have you heard that? It also happens in the lung and other organs. Cystic fibrosis. So the duct gets clogged, so the pancreatic juice cannot get out. So what will happen if pancreatic juice is not released? The person will suffer from what? Pancreatic juice helps in what? digestion, right? Of proteins, carbohydrates, fats. So if that juice doesn't, get out or cannot get out, right? It will not be able to enter into the intestine, will not be able to digest the food, right? So the person will suffer from what? Maldigestion, malnutrition. Make sense? Maldigestion and malnutrition. That's right. So it's a very important gland. And of course, insulin and glucagon are very important. You already know. So that is the pancreas. Now, the gonads. Male gonads are what?
We already did.
Oh, we talked about gonads?
Yeah, we
Okay.
did. I think there's a slide on it.
Okay. So gonads, male gonads are testes, female gonads are ovaries. They produce what? Sex hormones, right?
Yep.
Male sex hormone testosterone, female sex hormones estrogen, progesterone. Okay, and sex hormones mainly do what? Control the cycles, also help in the growth and maturation of reproductive organs. I mentioned that. Secondary sex characteristics. Now I remember I talked about that. Okay, secondary sex characteristics, how you separate a male and a female, right?
Yeah.
Externally. So those are the functions, and sexual drive, desire, right? Those behavior. So that's the function of the pancreas. Okay. So I think that's all you need to know. If any of you didn't submit this one, can do it by today, put it in my mailbox. Okay? If you want to know. This is just.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Whatever you